Hello learners, welcome to this another session of Certificate in Fashion Design program. Today's topic of discussion is drafting of basic blocks. That is we will talk about the basic bodice block, sleeve block and skirt block. So this is one of the activity part of this course 2 of this program, which is basics of pattern making and sewing. So this is activity 2 based on drafting of basic blocks, body, sleeve and skirt. So let us discuss what all topic we will be covering today in this session. So we will discuss terms used in drafting, tools used in drafting, what all terms are used, technical terms are used in the process of drafting and pattern making, what tools we use while creating a pattern or while drafting a pattern, and what is the method of drafting these bodies, basic blocks or basic sloper we call it, or the basic pattern we call it. So we will discuss the method of drafting basic blocks, bodies, for the bodies, that is for the upper body part, sleeves and the skirt. So already we have discussed about these topics, that how many types of pattern are there, how we create a pattern for designing and construction of the garment. So there are different methods of construction of garments we have discussed in the earlier sessions, and in our unit also we have discussed. So we have discussed that for every body part of the garment we have different bodies or the different sloper or different pattern we create for every part of the garment. Like for the upper bodies, that is said as the bodies, we develop different pattern. For the sleeve we develop different pattern, and for the skirt we develop the pattern. And while assembling and by using all these three and different pattern of different body parts, we create a garment, and with the help of this basic sloper we create different garments. So this is very important for us to create basic bodies or the basic blocks for the before construction of garment. So why this is important? Because when we create a basic pattern, which is we generally do it with the standard body measurement. So when we have discussed it about that, we with lots of survey and technical persons, with the help of sample surveys, we judge and we create or we decide one standard body measurement, and based on that standard body measurement when we create one basic block. And with that basic block, whether it is for the sleeve, whether it is for the skirt or bodies, we can manipulate using that particular standard pattern or the basic sloper. We create different ranges of the garment by manipulating that particular pattern, standard pattern. So first of all, it comes in mind why this is this studying of this particular activity, why experimenting with this particular activity is important. What you will learn after doing this practical activity, like after why it is important to create a bodies, learn how to develop a pattern for the body, sleeve and skirt. So after, when you will go through this activity, this is very important that you will know the uses of tools and used in the pattern drafting. The first and the most important thing that you will get to know what all important tools are there and what tools you need to create a pattern for drafting. Then you can understand how body measurement relates to the draft. Then after doing this activity, you can make draft of basic blocks like basic bodies, basic sleeve and basic skirt. So these three are very important when you go for construction of garment, especially for the women's garment. So we generally make these three blocks. Basic sloper we developed for the garment construction. So after doing this activity, you can make easily a draft of basic blocks, basic sleeve and basic skirt. So let us talk about the terms which are used in drafting or pattern making. So the first term which is we generally use or we generally talk about is the basic pattern or the block pattern, which we will be developing, discussing that what basic sloper is or what basic pattern is. So basic pattern is something which we made out of the exact body measurement what we have taken, and there are some technical steps and the technical parameters on which we develop the basic patterns or the basic blocks, which we will discuss later. So first term we generally use is the basic pattern or the block pattern, and then we use the term working pattern. Working pattern is also the thing we use in the pattern making, and working pattern is that pattern we call on which we after transferring the body measurement on the pattern paper, we adjust or do creativity on the pattern, like including the ease on the pattern, including what all technical measurement we want or the design we want on the pattern. So including all that creativity and manipulation what we do in the pattern, that certain point of the pattern or that particular point of pattern is said as the working pattern. Then we have the production pattern. Production pattern is what it is after part of the working pattern. When we have first we create the basic pattern, which is without any manipulation, it is just the exact body measurement what we take. So after first we create the pattern, we draw the lines, we draw the pattern on the pattern paper with the basic measurement. Then we have the working pattern, which includes all the creativity, such as how much seam allowance will be there, if we any particular design we want, we just create the designing on that. We manipulate, if we want to create or manipulate the darts, we do the darts or manipulation there. So that point is called as the working pattern. Then it comes the production pattern. So production pattern is something, the final pattern we can say, which is given to the production department for creating or for developing the final product, which is our garment. So production pattern is something we can have of the three types of production pattern. First we can have the industrial pattern. So industrial pattern is something which is very technical and which includes all the specification, all the details, marking, symbols, very perfectly done. Because if as a designer I create a pattern and the pattern master had developed the pattern, and if there is any technical thing which is not included and it is given to the industrial part or industry person, it is not understood by them. So industry pattern is it has all the technicalities, specification, what pattern is about. Then we have the commercial pattern and personal pattern. Personal pattern is something like which is made for the customized, we can say. It is for the particular or a small group of people or for someone special we are making a design. So it is not for mass person. So it is for the personal pattern. Then we use a term which is said as the pattern grading. So pattern grading, in which we do the size range we create of a particular pattern by manipulating the size area of the pattern, in which we increase and decrease the number or the size of the pattern. So pattern grading is done to create a different range of a particular design. Then we have the computer aided patterns. In the present, we generally lots of designers don't go for the pen and paper pattern making. There are lots of softwares which makes our work easy. So with the use of that software, they develop pattern by using computer aided softwares to develop pattern, and it makes our reduces our time for creating pattern. Like when you go for the pattern making, and when you will just now see how when we discuss the steps which involve in the construction of like basic blocks of bodies or the sleeve, there are lots of calculations is there, manipulation of the numbers. So these softwares like computer aided patterns decreases our time and that much pressure for converting all the measurement into a easy way. So this was about the terms which are we generally use and when we go for the pattern making or drafting. Then there are some tools which are we use while creating a pattern or drafting. So first of all, we have also discussed in our units. So just to know one more time, tools which we use while drafting are, first we use the tracing wheel. So tracing wheel we have discussed, it is a type of wheel or a small wheel which is used to transfer the design on the pattern paper. Like if we have design, we just put it on the pattern paper and use with the use of tracing wheel, we just transfer the design on the pattern paper. We have the L square shape scale which is which we use for creating while we are drafting the pattern. We have the pattern master. Pattern master is also said as the measuring tape we use or the scale, measuring scale we use while we are creating a pattern. Then we have the grading ruler. Grading ruler is like a scale only which has the marking of the measurements in the inches and the centimeters. Then we have the pattern notches. So notches we generally use as a marking symbol on the pattern for like joining of the fabric or to make the person understand that this is the point from where we have to join the fabric. So there is particular type of tool which is used for the pattern notches. Then we use the French curve. It is a curve like curve shaped scale we use the French curve. Scissor we all know. Push pins we have a small thin pins like round balls at the end point which holds the fabric when you go for the fabric or the paper. When you go for the drafting or like draping on the dress form, we use the push pins. Measuring tape we use mechanical pen or the leg curves. So these are type of scale we use to create, like for the skirt we use leg curves, or when we are developing a trouser or a pant we use the leg curves. Then we have the hip curve and the awl. So these are the basic tools which we need when we go for the drafting or pattern making. Then comes what method of drafting we use for the basic bodies block. So methods of drafting basic bodies we generally use, like drafting, we can say drafting or a pattern making is a technical process which requires precise and practice along with understanding of the body contour. So it is very technical, not that much technical, but once you understand what all steps and what process is followed for the garment construction and pattern making, it is very easy to create a design of your own. So we can say a pattern making or drafting is a technical process because you have to understand all the techniques what are involved in that, and which requires precision and practice along with. When you practice, like first you will learn how to drape or how to draft a pattern, and if you practice by your own, then you can understand the thing, how the pattern is developed, and understanding the body contour, like body landmarks we have discussed. So understanding the body landmarks and the contour is very important to get a good pattern developed. Then basic bodies drafting requires the main measurement, like the first and the basic measurement without any manipulation is very important to get and to start a pattern. So when we talk about taking body measurement, we have different landmarks of which we take the measurement. Like if we are designing a bodies of or a full body full length garment, so we need measurement of different parts or different landmarks of the body. So basic bodies drafting requires the main measurement which are measured by the body, then adding the ease of the movement of breathing to them. Like we just take the exact measurement without any ease or without any extra margin first, then we put that on the pattern, the basic pattern. Then when we go for the working pattern, we add extra ease to that, because it has to be finally worn by a human or a body. So to make it very comfortable while wearing, we add ease to that particular pattern or the final hour pattern. Then further these are divided, derived measurement. There are derived measurement which are calculated in relation to the main measurement. So this is what we discussed just now, that there are the derived measurement. What are derived measurement? We can say we have the actual measurement, and when we add the extra margin or ease to that measurement, we have the derived measurement. And while developing a pattern, we use both the actual measurement and the derived measurement to create a good pattern. So let us just talk first about how we create a basic bodice block. So bodice is, we say, upper, like for the upper part of the body up to the waistline. So when we talk about creating a pattern up to the waistline, from the shoulder area to the waistline, what all measurement we need when we go for the bodice development. So first measurement we need is the bust circumference. So this is measurement, what it is, you can see on the screen, is the standard body measurement we used. It is a size 12 for the women costume. So this is the basic or the standard body measurement we generally use in our garment construction. You can use this draft, and you can manipulate this draft according to the size you want, or you can take a body measurement, or for whom you want to take develop a garment, you can take the body measurement of that particular human or the person you want to create for these particular landmarks which is discussed. Like first, for the bodies, you have to take the bust circumference. So bust circumference, you will take the measurement. For standard we have the 88 centimeter. Then we take the waist circumference measurement. Then we take the shoulder measurement, neck base circumference. We take the full height and sleeve length. So these are the basic body measurement we take for creating a basic bodice block. Then these are the calculated measurement, and what derived measurement or resultant measurement we have. We have some type of set of formula which we use to create the resultant measurement. Like when we take a calculate measurement, we from the neck to armhole line, if we create the measurement, the formula we use like 1/10 of the bust plus 10.5 centimeter. So what does these formula means? Like 1/10 of the bust, like our actual bust circumference or measurement is 88. So we have to take the 1/10 part of that particular 88 centimeter, and then we will add 10.5 centimeter to get the resultant measurement. So this is how we have different formulas for the different calculated measurement or the landmark we use. So like nape to underarm line, we use 1/10 of the bust to 10.5 centimeter. Then nape to waist, we use 1/4 of full height. For you can see the full height we use, it is 164 centimeter. So for 164 centimeter it is, and what we have to calculate, we have to calculate nape to waist 1/4 of the full height. So our full height was 164. For this particular landmark we will use 1/4 of that 164. In that way, from high shoulder point to apex we use 1/4 of bust plus 5 centimeter. So in this manner you can see, you can find this chart in your study material, what it is provided for this particular program. You can find this chart and you can see and revise by yourself when you are going for the final drafting or the pattern making. So this is high shoulder point to apex. We use 1/4 of the bust to plus 5 centimeter. We calculate the high shoulder point to midriff, and in the same way half across back, half front chest width, and the half of the bust span. So this is how by using the formula, which is a set formula and standard, we calculate the resultant measurement which we will be using while creating a pattern. So this is how a basic pattern of bodies looks like when you create on the paper. So this is, you will be imagining how with this like flat piece of diagram or a flat piece we will develop a pattern. So this is the whole front and back part of the bodies, and this is the half pattern we have, not the both side, but we have the on-fold part. So this is on the left side, you can see it is the back bodies, and on the right side you can see it is the front bodies. So in the middle, when you see in the if you can see the picture between the round circle, which is, you can see it is the armhole side, and the triangle, it is a dart point. From that dart point, it is the side seam dart. So from that dart point we separate the front and the back portion of these bodies. So you can see in this picture, or this is a pattern of how a bodies is developed. So this is, you can see it is the front bodies and it is the back bodies. It is drawn like that, and when you separate these two by cutting from that triangular part or the middle part of that sheet of paper, and when you join it together, you can see a full bodies part of the block. So this is how a bodies block looks like. Then there are measurement after addition of ease. So when we have developed a pattern and we want to add ease to that, taken a measurement, and then we want to add the ease to that particular measurement to create get the final amount or the total centimeter or measurement with which we will create the design. For that amount of ease is mentioned, you can find this table in the study material, and you can see for which part or which landmark how much measure of ease is allowed to add on the actual measurement. Like for the bust circumference, if the actual measurement is 44 centimeter, we generally add 6 centimeter of ease. So exact total what we get, it is 94 centimeter we get. So in this way, at the waist circumference we are allowed to add only 1 centimeter ease, because you can imagine if like we add 6 centimeter of ease to the waist, it will be so loose fitted garment. So in this manner we don't add any type of ease on the, only 1 centimeter of ease on the waist, and like that nape to underarm line we add 1.6 centimeter of ease, and so on. So you can find this table and calculate how ease is added on the pattern. As you can see, you can refer this diagram and follow the step-by-step method given to draft the basic blocks. We will be using the calculated measurement and the measurement after adding of ease wherever applicable, and during drafting of the bodies. So it is said we will use the actual measurement and the derived measurement both wherever it is applicable. Then how you will start a bodies developing a pattern. So you can take a point 0 on the half scape pattern sheet at around 10 centimeter away from both the vertical and horizontal edges, and name it as point 0. So if you have a sheet of paper, then you can take a point 0 on a full scape pattern sheet at around 10 centimeter away from both the vertical and horizontal, as you can see in the diagram, and then edges are named, and you can name it as a point 0. So then you can draw two lines perpendicular to each other using either the pattern master or the L square shape scale on the sheet at the point 0. So this is first point you have to do. You have to make a square or square box on the pattern sheet what you have, starting with a point 0. Then you can follow these steps which are mentioned in your study material, like you can put the diagram, keep the diagram in front of you, this diagram. You can see the markings like points which are mentioned here, 0, 1, 2, 3. And by following this step, like point 0 to 1, it is said that it is nape to waist plus 2 centimeter. Mark this as a central back line, and then line 0 to 1 is the central back line or CB. So in this manner, if you follow the diagram and the points which is mentioned in your study material, these points one by one, you can be able to create a pattern very easily, and it is explained it very easily how we can develop the pattern step by step. So these are the points which are mentioned according to the Bodice diagram which I have shown. So this is the basic outline of the basic Bodice block we are developing. We have the first, on the left side you can see it is the back Bodice block and back part of the Bodice block, and the right side you can see it is the front. So on the front, very left, it is the small curve you can see at the end, at the corner point, it is the back neck, and the round in the left right part, it is the armhole part of the back Bodice. So in this way we create the basic Bodice block, and in picture you can see we create the back dart, we create the central back dart, we create the central front dart and the shoulder dart. All that after creating, we measure it accurately. We use French curve to give the shape of neckline, to give the shape to the armhole, and then finally what we do, you can see in the picture, last picture, you can see that from the middle of the center point of the sheet we have created, we just separate the front and back part from there, and we join, we get the front and back. So just you have to remember that this is the on-fold pattern of the Bodice. If you want to create the full, you can just double it and you can get the full front and full back pattern. So this was about the basic Bodice block. We will discuss about the methods of drafting basic sleeve. So basic sleeve we discussed. It is also discussed about how we create the basic Bodice. We create the basic sleeve block. So for developing a basic sleeve block, the main measurement we require to draft the sleeve block is armhole circumference, which is also called as the arm scale measurement from the Bodice block. Like it was taken as a 42 centimeter measurement. This measurement you can vary, we can change it, we can manipulate it according to for the person we are creating the pattern. So the armhole circumference we take for creating this standard sleeve measurement or sleeve block is 42 centimeter, and sleeve length will be 58 centimeter, and this can also vary according to the body type. So the total wrist measurement is equal to wrist circumference, which vary according to body bone structure. Then we add 6.5 centimeter of ease or seam allowance to fit the overhand, and the total amount we will be taking for creating a basic sleeve, it will be 22.5 centimeter. Then as like we have done in the basic Bodice block, we take a point 0 on a full scape pattern sheet at around 25 centimeter away from the horizontal edge from one side and at the middle of the vertical edge of the paper and name it as a 0. As you can see in this picture, we have taken the measurement and starting from the 0, and in this way we create the basic body sleeve block using the measurement. First we for the first we create the bicep line we draw, then we draw the measuring like upper rise of the arm, then we create the armhole shape and make it as a proper shape of the sleeve. So there is also steps mentioned in your study material for creating the basic sleeve. So you can keep this diagram in front of you, and when you follow that but all steps one by one, you will be able to develop this basic sleeve block. So this is how we use the French curve to shape the armhole part, back armhole and the front armhole of the sleeve, and then give a proper smooth curve like shape. So this is how we develop a basic sleeve block. Then it comes the basic drafting of method of basic skirt block. So skirt block also we have the standard measurement what we can use. We can use a standard size of for the 12 size. We have the waist measurement for the 68 centimeter, hip 94 centimeter and waist to hip. So this is how we use the step one by one and create the basic skirt pattern. This is how your first draft of the pattern will look like. A rectangle shape you will draw, and from the waist to hip measurement first marking on the, then hip line you will draw, and dart you will put on the measurement by following the step, and the measurement you will just draw the dart, and finally you will get the skirt block done like this. So this was all about the method of creating the basic body, sleeve and skirt block. So today we discussed terms and tools we use for pattern making, and then we also explained and steps for the construction of basic bodies, sleeve and skirt block. So what you can do, you can follow the instruction or the steps given, and with the help of the diagram you can create a pattern of your own. Thank you.